Alright guys, so today I have a different type of video for you. So, I wanted to talk today about budgeting your YouTube setup. Because I've been on YouTube for a year and a quarter-ish, something like that by now. So, I'm very familiar with upgrading your setup, and I'm very familiar with, of course, not having a lot of money. I'm very familiar with budgeting. And budgeting my setup and using as little money as possible to get the best setup possible. And I think it's a really important thing for small YouTubers to do. So I want to give you guys some tips, tricks, pointers, and some of the equipment that I have personally. And a lot of my equipment, not all of it, because I forgot some of it that I know as of now, and I may forget to add it in later. But a lot of my equipment is linked down in the description if you want it. And I'll be going through a lot of things that I have here. As you can see, I have green on the sides of my background right now. I will explain that later. But for now, I just want to start off with the camera. So the camera, as I said in my video 2 weeks ago, $30, which is when I got it. There was a limited time deal just afterwards where it costed $17. It is a really, really solid budget webcam, on par with the Logitech. And, of course, I am not using the webcam mic. I am using my external mic. So there is that. The webcam mic sounds significantly worse, but still usable for sure. Now, what is the use of a webcam? A webcam is a small external camera that can be connected to your computer. Me, I have mine mounted on a tripod, and I have one that has a tripod screw, though they make ones that mount just to your monitor, if you'd prefer it. I think it's nice to get one with a mount, because that kind of makes it universal. It also comes with a privacy cover, which is really nice. A lot of people like that. I don't really care either way, but it's nice to know that it's there. Now, the Logitech C920, I believe, is the pretty much a standard webcam that if you're going to get it for a YouTuber or a streamer. But I say that this webcam pretty much puts it to sleep, because this is a budgeted webcam that is at least as good as it, if not maybe even a little better. Now, if you're going to use a camera and you don't want to use a webcam, you can use external cameras. DSLRs, which can also be hooked up as webcams via a USB adapter, USB to HDMI, of course. Those cost about $15 if you get a budgeted one. You don't need the Elgato Cam Link. But it is the name brand if you're going to go for that, which more power to you if you are going to. If you're going to use a DSLR, it is commonly used that you would use a Canon or Nikon is what most people tend to use. Although you can use pretty much any brand. It doesn't matter. It's just Canon and Nikon are the common two that I hear about. You can also use a point-and-shoot camera as your camera, which is what I have used until I got the webcam. I used the Nikon Coolpix S9100 and the Coolpix P500. These are both very, very good cameras. The only problem is I was having trouble with the fact that I couldn't use it as a webcam, so for live streaming I couldn't use Facecam, and the focus on both of them was a little iffy, but way more so on the P510, where it seemed like no matter what I did to the focus, it just couldn't stay on my face, or it would focus on the chair or the background, and it's not what I wanted. This, you could see the clarity on my face, because it is in perfect focus right now. And this is not touching anything at all, any settings whatsoever. This is the default picture quality. Granted, I have a ring light. Keep in mind the lighting of your setup. I'll get to the ring light later. Next, I want to talk about your background. Now, I want to kind of have this video hit points for every type of setup. So, do you need a background like mine? No, of course not. If you want to just have whatever your wall is, if you have it set up against a wall like mine is, or if you want to have it be a whole room and have your desk be against a wall facing the room, that's totally fine. The reason I use this background is because I like the idea of having a backdrop behind me, a singular color of some sort. I was going to get foam pads, but I decided it was not necessarily worth it because my room doesn't need it acoustically. And my microphones that I buy are usually very strong when it comes to the acoustics. So instead I got a backdrop. And what did I do? So I bought these. These are room darkening shades. I actually bought them the same thing for my other bedroom that I was in before my brother and I switched rooms. And because I wanted it to be darker in there, of course, during the day, or at least during the morning when I wake up. They do an amazing job, although right now they are serving... These are different ones, by the way. I bought a second set. These work as the backdrop for my setup now. And they are super, like, slick looking. You can see, and there's two colors. I'm not doing anything to them. That's two different colors. It's, like, striped. One's a darker shade of black. One is a lighter shade of black. And it looks really nice, really clean. And I like the color of it. And I like the black background because it brings the focus on me. Because I tend to, obviously, I have white skin. And I usually wear vibrant colors, more or less, most of the time at least. And so I typically would like to have a darker background. It keeps the focus on me and what I'm wearing and everything, but it also adds a little bit of depth to the screen. And you don't have to do it like that if you don't want to. Like I said, you could just do your bedroom background if you'd like. It's just the way I prefer to do it. Now, here's the part about the green. So I've always liked the idea of a green screen. I thought it was cool. I've always thought the concept was interesting, but I never really bought one. So what I ended up doing is I found several different green screens on Amazon that were budget, and they were the size that I wanted. Problem is, they had mixed reviews, and I didn't really want to chance it. If there's one bad review and only good reviews, sure, I'll chance it. But if there's several from each, then it's a little difficult. And that's just for me. I'm sure it's different for other people. But for me, that is the way I like to do things, is to make sure that it's at least mostly good. And so what I ended up doing is I was like, well, just to be safe, let's just buy it locally. So I'll also add here that the black backdrop, that came from a Family Dollar store here in Vermont, in my town. And I also, so it was two individual curtains that they came in a one pack, but I bought two of them. And then I got a $10 curtain rod. So it cost me $25, something like that when I bought those. Now, for the green screen part, I bought the exact same curtain rod from the exact same place, so that cost me about $10. And then it cost me $20, I believe, for the screen. So it's two curtains, but it's not actually curtains, and it's not actually a green screen. So what it is it's a two individual pieces, because I got two of them, because of the size of the area I'm using. And it is two cut pieces of green fabric from Walmart. These are the 4-yard cuts, and I got two of them, as I said, and they are on a second curtain rod that is in front of the black background curtain rod. So that way I can slide them across without having to take anything down or put anything back up. So this is what the background looks like with the green sheets. Keep in mind, you can see over here and over here, you can see the corners of my walls. I have not zoomed the camera in anymore from where it was, just so you guys can kind of get it in perspective, because I haven't done anything to the side walls, though I very easily could. And so one thing I will continue to say about this, that I've said to my family and such when I first got this, is that it's a really, really good shade, because again, it just kind of adds a little bit of vibrance and a little bit of depth to the screen. So again, this here is with the screen not zoomed in all the way. What you can see here is the green screen effect on the chroma key effect. This is through OBS, this is not through editing. This could be different. I can show you the version through editing after this. So as you can see towards the bottom of my screen, what you're seeing now in the background is my OBS display. What you're seeing down in this area here and in this area here is you are seeing the fuzz from the screen. Now, I've also adjusted the color on this a little bit, so it looks better now than it did originally, but it's still a little fuzzy, and I haven't played around with it enough yet to figure out a way to fix it, although I would guarantee there's a way to fix it. So that's why that looks like that. Now keep in mind, again, $20 for the screens, and it looks like this. This is a pretty good way to go if you're going to get something budgeted. I have now turned off the chroma key effect in OBS, and I will be now displaying something in the background that I will put in editing that I don't know of right now as the background. So what you guys are seeing now will be the background from the video editing software, not through OBS. Okay, so really quickly, I just wanted to add this Brody in post here. So as you can see at the bottom of the green screen, there was some green that was left untouched. Keep in mind, this was on the default setting where I used the drip tool to click the color of the background. Consider this as well. I do have other lights I can set up that were not set up in that clip, and they recommend anytime you see somebody say how to chroma key, they suggest you have the entire thing lit exactly the same way. and the bottom was clearly not lit the same way. So I just wanted to add that. It's not the fault of the screen, it's the fault of the way I did it, and it still wouldn't have been perfect because I still would have had to screw with some settings for it to look perfect. But just letting you guys know that that was the reason you could see the green. Of course, it looked a little weird anyway because you could see my sidewalls, but that's just the way I had it set up. I didn't want to zoom it in or anything. Just so that's the way I did it. That's why it looked like that. Anyways, back to the video. Okay, so next I want to talk about my gaming chair. As you can see, I have a GT Racing gaming chair. On Amazon, this goes for about $163, I believe. This is an expensive chair, and it's a really, really premier and very, very high-quality brand, at least in my opinion. Now, I got this chair for $25, but that is because I got it from Facebook Marketplace. So you can usually find some really good deals on Marketplace. That's where I've gotten several items in my setup. The most useful one, I would say, being my gaming PC, which we will get to, and my chair. This chair, when you buy it brand new, comes with a lumbar and neck support, but I don't have that. I don't know if it didn't come with it when the kid I got it from got it, or what, but I don't have that, but I don't really need it, necessarily. It would be nice, but I don't need it, so I don't have it. And as you can see, too, it is a high-back gaming chair, so I can lean back, and it also has a lever to recline, similar to a car seat, as you can see here. Very, very nice chair. It has adjustable armrests as well, in multiple directions. So if you're going to get a gaming chair, this is a really good one to go. But, if you don't want to spend the money, what are your options? Well, Amazon has a bunch of budgeted gaming chairs. My brother, for example, just got one for Christmas. It is I believe it was a $75 to $80 gaming chair. It's a little bit lower, not quite high back. It stops at about my neck. And it doesn't go quite as high as this, but it reaches like the same height that you would expect. It doesn't have detachable armrests like mine does, so I can twist them in or outward, plus I can bring them up or down. Those ones can't be adjusted in any way. But it can also recline, not the same way, but it can rock back and forth similarly to a computer chair. It is essentially a computer chair with a gaming chair design, and it's really, really nice, especially for the money. It's actually really comfortable. The padding on my brother's chair feels pretty much on par with the padding on my $160 chair. Keep in mind, though, this one has had a little bit of wear and tear, though. So next, I want to talk about microphones. There are plenty of budgeted mics out there, and so you can use pretty much whatever you want. You just got to know how to use it. So the first mic I started out with was the Zingyou BM8000. And it comes with its own mini pop filter. It doesn't do a whole lot, but does a little. It comes with a boom arm and, of course, a desk clip. It came with a shock mount to hold it, which is what this is here holding my microphone. And it came with a XLR to USB to 3.5mm cable, which is essentially a headphone jack, but it registers as a microphone. And you would put it into a mic jack. This also came with an adapter. It's a USB to 3.5mm adapter. There's one for headphones, one for mic. There's 2 slots in that one. It's very, very cheap and doesn't work all that great, which is why in my early days of YouTube, of regular uploading, when I was on the Chromebook, which doesn't have a mic jack, of course, my audio sounded very quiet because that's what that sound card did. If you want a better sound card, I suggest buying one that's a little bit more expensive that is sold individually. Those ones will probably give you better sound. I say that, I have not bought one, so take that with a caution. So that mic, when I bought it, was $30 for me because that's another thing I got on Marketplace, and it is about $50 brand new. It's an alright mic, it does pretty good. Of course, sounds better with a bigger pop filter, a big professional one. I have an 8-inch Aokio pop filter, and it sounds very, very nice. But what I prefer is, in both the look and the sound at this point, is this microphone, which is the Zingyou BM800. Now, I didn't buy this one in the bundle with all the other stuff, because at this point I already had 2 different boom arms and desk clamps and such. So, what I decided to do is they offer you the microphone, the shock mount it comes with, which is not this shock mount, and the XLR cable it comes with individually. So I bought that instead. This, instead of being $50, goes for $23-ish to $25, give or take, with tax and shipping and stuff, depending on if you're paying that. So this right here, I don't know how you can see it, there you go. This is the shock mount that the Xingyu mic came with. The BM8000 came with one that's a little different. I don't know if they make them with that one anymore because I don't see many that are that style. But this one, see, has these two clamps here. You open it up, and as you can see here on the top, it spreads it open. And that's how you can keep your mic in there nice and tight. It's a really, really nice shock mount, but I don't like that the clips are not in the middle. They were in the middle on the other one, for the other microphone, and I like that look a lot better. And again, that's for me personally. This shock mount, it's a little looser, at least for this mic. It pretty much just sits in the shock mount, and that's it. And I have to occasionally adjust it, and I think it looks better. I don't know if it really does all that much better, but it does enough the same that it's not really a problem. And of course, leading in from the microphone, I will then discuss the boom arms. There are many boom arms you can use in many different styles. The most notable budget boom arm looks like this. Has external springs, and it's about, 13 inches, I believe. Now, this is the second boom arm I got. This is a Waymic boom arm. I would not recommend this boom arm because this part here on the end, this metal piece where you screw your microphone on, fell out very quickly, and I have yet to glue it in place or something to keep it where it is. Plus, it's just short, and I don't like the external springs because they're just a little noisy. That is the look of most boom arms you will find. Now, keep an eye when you buy a boom arm for the desk clamp, because sometimes they make them very thin and they're very garbage. You want to find one with a thicker looking clamp. If you find one that is a U shape, but it's like exact right angles, I would not suggest it. I have one. It's like squared at the top, and at the bottom it kind of curves down, and it's like an inch thick. It's really sturdy. And that's what I would recommend if you're going to buy one, although it all depends on your desk. My desk worked especially bad for it because of the way it was built. So what about this boom arm that I'm using now? This is the Huawei, something like that, H-A-U-E-W boom arm. As you can see, it has the screw joints here. This one comes with this shock mount and this foam cover. This isn't the foam cover that comes with the BM800, although it does come with one. It has a metal mic clip right here to attach to the shock mount, and it comes with a plastic one as well, which is nice, just to have an extra one. Of course, as you can see here, it comes with this, it's got this little piece here that the mic connects to, the shock mount, and it connects up to the boom arm. Over here, I didn't mean to touch my mic. As you can see here, there's a dial. That is how you tighten up that part of the mic. The rest of the tightening from the joints goes from a screwdriver. So as you can see here, there's this mount here. There's the same one up at the top at the elbow-ish joint here, and then down at the bottom. And it allows me to move the arm back and forth like with such ease. It's incredible. Now, if you're going to buy a boom arm like this, you want to be very careful of which ones you buy, because these thicker ones don't have very many reviews. Because, as you may have noticed, this is kind of a clone of the Rode PSA-1, I believe is what it is called, which is the Rode boom arm that a lot of YouTubers like Minilad and Terrorizer, it's the type of boom arm that those guys use. Although, you could tell it's not a Rode because of this piece right here on a Rode. My Rode arm is a lot shorter. It's about half the size. As you can see as well here, and then I have I have three more. There are adjustable Velcro straps to hold your cable down, so you don't have to wrap it all the way around a bunch of times, which I've done to keep it secure. And it's fine, but it's a lot easier to string it through like this. And of course, as you can see at the elbow joint, there is a place right up here. It's kind of like a little groove where you can set your cable and just drape it across. And that's really nice because it makes it super easy to weave through. Now, what did this boom arm cost? This boom arm cost about $50, more or less. And it's really, really nice because it's a pretty much a Rode arm for half the price because they're about $100. The only caution I will add to this is that there is an internal spring, though it's pretty powerful. So, like, as you can see when I move this up to a certain point, it just goes up and does its own thing. And it's not really a big problem. For me, I have a fairly small desk, even though this is at a fairly wide angle right now. But I can manage it just fine with what I have. I also wanted to add this as well. If you're going to buy a USB mic, that is obviously different than an XLR mic. XLR mics require at least a mic jack to work, although some of them, particularly newer, that and then a few other brands will say requires phantom power. So you can get a phantom power supply or an audio interface or audio mixer, and that's just added money. So if you don't want to do that, you don't have to. It can get you in real time, really, really clean audio. That's why my audio sounds better in videos than live streams, because I take out background noise in videos in the editor. I can't do that in real time. I can, but I haven't messed with it enough to a point where I can use it. And it's not that big of a problem anyway, so I'm not worried about it. But for some people, that's more of a thing. They want it to sound perfect all the time, regardless of the situation. So, take that into consideration if you're buying an XLR. Okay, just want to go add this little bit in right here. Hi, Brody and Post again. So, there's this guy on TikTok I follow. His name is GronkYT, with Gronk with 2 R's. And he has other social media. I don't know exactly what it is, but I will link him down in the description. He has a video. He does all kinds of PC tips and tricks for up-and-coming gamers and streamers and YouTubers. Awesome stuff. Go check him out. Seriously. I owe this guy quite a bit. He's helped me with a lot of minor tech issues. And so, he basically recommends this thing. It's a integrated audio mixer / interface called Voicemeeter Banana. I'll link that in the description as well. It is free, at least according to him. I know you can pay for it, so I imagine free version is limited, but that happens with most software. I imagine Chromebooks won't be able to use this, but there may be a way to get around it. You'll have to decide for yourself, because I haven't used a Chromebook in quite some time. But I just wanted to add in that little bit there. So go check that out. They'll be linked in the description. Now, if you're buying a USB mic, that is a mic that will go with pretty much anything, because the USB mics can go with anything that has a USB port except for consoles, I believe. I know for a fact that's not true for Xbox, because they don't work for Xbox, and I've tried, because we have a USB mic here. And that would be the Logitech / Konami mic that I used a few months back, 4 or 5 months back, something like that. Keep in mind as well, all these products that I'm mentioning so far that require to be plugged in, I say that would be only the mic, is plug and play. This one, the 8000, the USB mics are typically the best for plug and play, because pretty much every device has a USB port, and that includes Chromebooks. Now let's get to the computer stuff itself. Let's talk about the keyboard, mouse, and mousepad. So for me, a small mousepad would do just fine. I could work with it just fine. But because I like the game, and because I like the feel of it and the ease of it, I bought a big mousepad. The one I got is the Magic Eagle Have It Game Series mousepad. It is about 18 inches long, and I believe 34 to 36, something like that, wide. And it fits pretty much my entire desk, and it's great because I could just flick the mouse with such ease. It's quiet. It's very, very nice. This only cost me about $15 to $20, and there are other ones out there, and there's also LED ones out there. Have It actually makes an LED one, because my brother got that one for Christmas, though it's a little bit shorter. It's actually almost half the size, which I don't personally prefer. So I'm sticking with the one I got, because it's really, really nice. As a matter of fact, I'll probably buy it again if this one gets damaged. Now, what do I use for keyboard and mouse? So, I like the rainbow, the backlit, the RGB, all that stuff. So, I got a backlit gaming keyboard and mouse. Now, I bought the PicTech. I don't remember which one specifically, because they make several different versions of each. But it is a keyboard and mouse combo, and it's really, really nice. So, the mouse has 4 programmable buttons. The top 2 are DPI, so that changes your speed of your cursor. So it's really useful for gaming. And then there's 2 on the side that are programmable as well. And I'm sure they make one that has more buttons, but I can't remember exactly. Then of course it has a scroll wheel, and it has a little indent for your thumbs, though it doesn't have a thumb rest, although some people don't like that. The keyboard and mouse came in a combo as well, and I'm not going to pick up my keyboard to show you guys necessarily, but it has blue LED lights in the front. It has a built-in wrist support, and it has like 14, I think it is, multimedia keys, something like that. That's not true. It has 10, but even still, it has enough. It's got a home button, a computer symbol that I've never actually played with, has a zoom in by the looks of it. It has a volume up and down, skip, forward, backwards, looks like a fast forward type button, and then a mute button. I say that I don't know half of these because I don't use half of them. I use pretty much volume up and volume down. This keyboard is also not mechanical. PicTech does make mechanical keyboards. I actually have one saved in my Amazon cart just in case for when this one gets broken, if in the event that it does, because I know Pictic is a reliable brand. I think they're very good products. I say that the one product, technically two, that I have, but still highly recommended. So what else is there to talk about? Well, I will talk about my lights. So, before I got the ring light, many of you have known that, if you follow me on Instagram and stuff, I posted about it. I don't think I ever mentioned it in a video. But I got newer, it really doesn't matter how you want to say the brand, $50, although I got them for $30 because of a promo code, square lights. They come with their own mini tripods. They're like 3 or 4 feet tall. Do not compare whatsoever to the tripods I have, because the tripods I have are way taller. And it's way easier to have them above the camera, looking down on you or looking straight away from you. Like, my ring light is barely angled down. It is almost entirely straight forward. Now, these newer lights, they're not set up in my room right now. They're actually set up in my brother's room. So what you're seeing right now is just the ring light, which is really good, and I'll get to the ring light in a minute. But these, the newer lights, the tripods that they come with too are very cheap, but they get the job done. And some people have mounts for their desks. You can get them. I've never really looked into it, so I can't really offer much information about that. But they basically clamp down like a boom arm would, and they have these stands that connect to the lights. And that's what a lot of people do. I'll also say that these lights are not very big. They're like maybe 6 inches by 2.5 to 3 inches. They're very small, but they are adjustable and they're very bright. And they are USB, so they can either be connected into the wall or a power strip, or directly into your computer if you'd like. Now, the ring light is very similar. So, this ring light that I have here, it is a 10-inch ring light. It cost me about $30. I say that my parents got it for me for Christmas. It cost me about $30. It is adjustable, and it has 3 different light modes. This right here is the brightest. It's like the LED setting. There's like a fluorescent setting or something like that. I don't remember exactly what they call it, but it is a really nice ring light. I believe I have it linked in the description. This ring light also comes with its own stand and slew of accessories. This stand is also very, very tall and cheap, but quality enough that it will do more than what it needs to. The accessories, of course, it comes with a GoPro mount with a tripod screw on the bottom. It comes with 2 or 3, maybe even 4 or 5 different phone mounts. It also has a inverted tripod screw down through the top, and by the top I mean the middle, because it is the underside, or the upper side of the bottom of the light. And it has a little gooseneck, which is like the kind that can bend. It is a gooseneck phone adapter, phone holder. So you can do like makeup tutorials, and that's at least what they say in all the ads. Although, let's be honest, these budgeted ring lights are pretty much for small YouTubers. That's my own personal opinion. It's also very biased, so please don't take offense to that. If you do, I apologize. I would also like to make a brief insertion here about my headphones. Most every YouTuber will wear headphones at one point or another, and there's hundreds of different types you can get. You can get Astros, you can get the headsets with the mics for gaming, which Astros have. You can get Technicas, you can get all these different types of headsets and brands and everything. You can get $5 ones from a local store. It really doesn't matter. The ones I have here are the One Audio headphones. They are very, very nice. You can see they're nice. They open up here, they twist. They also go upside down. They have a nice flexible, it's plastic, but it is a flexible headband. So that's really nice. Doesn't break super easily. As you can see here, it has a detachable cable. This cable is a 6.5 millimeter jack, which goes into mixers and turntable setups and stuff like that for DJs. But as you can see here, this has on this side one for a 6.5 millimeter jack, which is that, and this side is a headphone jack. It also comes with a small aux cord with a microphone attached to it. This also has a spiral here. This is very, very long. It's going underneath my desk around to the back of my computer as well. So these are really, really good headphones. I would highly recommend. They cost me $30. Crazy quality for $30. I did have to replace the cable, the red cable, which cost about $6 for the replacement cable. But I also twisted the spiral thing the opposite direction a lot, so I think the cords got frayed. And they worked perfectly once I got the replacement, so it was just the cord, thankfully. And now the final piece of the puzzle, the device you are using to record. Now take into consideration, some people record and even edit on consoles. I don't quite know how that works, but I've talked to people about that and don't entirely understand it, but it is an option potentially. You would have to look into it. I can't really offer you help for that other than I've heard about it. Now, as I said, I started my channel on a Chromebook. Really, technically a phone, because I had the recorded videos from the 5-minute training matches, and I uploaded them from my phone to YouTube directly. This was before I was using YouTube Studio or anything, so I used the YouTube app. I just uploaded it and maybe put on a color filter to make it look a little sleeker. But once I started my regular uploading, I was using my school Chromebook. This was right when everything first shut down for COVID, and I had my Chromebook. It was really, really nice Chromebook, too. One of the best as far as Chromebook goes, in my opinion, at least that I've used. And it did the job for a little while, but eventually I got sick of it and I had to get something else. From there, I upgraded to a budget PC. It was a Windows 10 PC, but it was very slow, very low powered. It had a compact motherboard, so pretty much everything was already built in. And it worked fine, but it wasn't great. I ended up buying more RAM for it to speed it up and stuff. I ended up putting in 2 hard drives instead of 1, because that gave it some extra storage. And again, it worked fine for a little while, better than the Chromebook, and it lasted me quite a while. But I got sick of it when I took my month break recently, a few months ago. I needed a change. I needed to take some time away, get everything set up, get some videos done, and I bought a gaming PC. So keep in mind, gaming PCs are not cheap. By any means, they're not cheap. But you can get them budgeted. Easiest way to get them budgeted is to either know somebody who can build them for you for cheap, which always helps, or to use Facebook Marketplace and find a budgeted one. My PC is 4 years old. It was built in 2016, custom built, and it cost $1,000 to build. I got sold this PC for $300. I didn't offer any lower because when I asked the details and I heard $1,000 for a 4-year-old PC, selling it for $300, I decided this is way too good of a deal to try to ask for less money to pay for it. It's a really nice PC. It's a little dusty on the inside, but I don't care enough to open it up and dust it off. I will eventually, but for now it's not a problem. It has like 4 to 6 fans. It has some blue LED lights in it, although not color changing or anything like that. So it's nice, of course, but there is that one step above. It has a really big, really nice, high quality MSI gaming motherboard, and it also has a NVIDIA GTX 970 graphics card. Very good. That is like a really good standard for gaming. If you can get a 970 or better, you're going to be in really good shape for gaming. If you can at least get a 970, you're going to be pretty much set. Now, it also doesn't hurt to have a desk fan or 2 with you because it can get quite stuffy when you're recording or streaming, and to have a little desk fan is really nice. I have a like $10 Walmart one. It's a nice little blue self-standing fan. Very, very nice. It actually blows out quite a bit of cool air. It's really, really nice. Even in the winter. I live in Vermont. We get a lot of snow in the winter. It's pretty cold out as we speak. But sometimes you still need a fan. Now, I also want to make a mention about this. I don't want to neglect this. I do still have my Shure SM58S. Very, very nice mic. XLR connection as well. Really, really high quality microphone. This is the pretty much the budgeted version of the industry standard for stand-up comedy specials and on-stage specials, known as the Shure SM58. The 48S, I also want to mention, has the on-off switch. The 48 and the 58 do not. But typically it's not something you would have on there. I personally want it on there, so I got one. Again, this cost me $50. This is a pretty nice mic. It comes with its own Shure stand, as you can see here. Fits it perfectly. I have several mic clips from various products that I've bought, but the Shure mic fits best in the Shure clip. And again, it comes with it. I happen to buy an extra one just in case it didn't, but oh well. I'd rather have extra parts than not enough parts. So that is my setup, and I want to just kind of briefly go through a few more things about budgeting. Budgeting is only as difficult as you make it. You don't have to buy the most expensive stuff. You don't need a fancy camera. You don't need, like, this is $30. It's a really nice camera. $30 ring light. $20 mic. $50 arm with a crap load of accessories. I think it was $30 to $40 for the keyboard and mouse, 10 to $20 for my mouse pad. Like a total of $50, I think, something like that, for both backgrounds and both curtain rods combined. $30 for the headphones, $300 for the budgeted PC. You'll typically find budgeted marketplace PCs for $500. Just adding that as well. There are so many different ways to budget your setup, and YouTube is supposed to be fun. You know, you're not supposed to struggle on YouTube. I've done my fair share of struggling on YouTube. I'm finally, thankfully, at a spot where everything feels like it works the way it needs to. You know, and struggling as a small YouTuber, it's gonna happen. Now I'll leave you guys with this, okay? YouTube is a long game. You don't have to expect everything to happen immediately. I started on my phone and a Chromebook, and I worked my way up very, very slowly. I've been on the channel for like a year and a half now. Okay? You don't have to expect everything to happen immediately. You don't have to spend all your money either. Take your time, buy items one at a time. You don't have to buy stuff all at once. I've learned so much from YouTube already in the year and a half I've been on here. And it's crazy to think about, because the first year of YouTube, I imagine, would be one of the hardest years for most people. But for me, it was so important, and it's so important for everybody, because you learn so much in that first year, even if you don't do it all, if you don't experience it all. I've pretty much been able to experience everything I've wanted to do in some capacity, but that is only due to the fact that I have money I was able to spend, and I had connections to get certain parts and such as I needed. Or if I needed a part, I could say, hey, what do I do for this part that I need? Oh, here's a budgeted one, go buy this. You know? So it really, really does help to have help. And you don't have to do it alone. You know, there's a lot of people on the internet willing to help you. So with that, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys learned a little bit. I know I didn't offer a whole lot. I didn't go in depth like Sean Cannell of Think Media. Some of those guys, seriously, go check out Think Media. Huge shout out to them. They are incredible. I have learned so much from Think Media. It is crazy. I will link them down in the description. Matter of fact, I'm going to write it down right now so I don't forget. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Good luck with your channels. Good luck with the budgeting. If you have any questions, feel free to comment, to email me, whatever. I don't care. I'm going to respond. Instagram, Facebook, whatever. Does not matter to me. So, with that being said, that is where I'm going to leave it for this week. I hope you guys enjoyed. It's been fun. And I'll see you guys next week.